I've been known to be a hothead sometimes. Every day there seems to be something new and exciting that makes me mad. What possibly could have pissed me off enough to feel the urge to film a response video?
Hey guys, Joshua Feuerstein here. You know, the other day I had an atheist tell me that I was an idiot, moronic, and stupid for believing in God, that he created this world, because it took way too much faith to believe in a process like that.
I'm sure most of you have already seen this video and the numerous response videos on YouTube, so you kind of understand where this video is going to be going. I mean, I could have just let this video continue to exist without making a peep, but where's the fun in that? Before we get down to this little review, let's do a little bit of history. Kevin James began doing stand-up in 1989 in Long Island. Once he began building popularity after numerous appearances on late-night TV, he moved to LA and befriended Ray Romano. After a few guest appearances on Everybody Loves Raymond, Kevin James was given the shot with his own show called The King of Queens. What? Oh. This isn't Kevin James? Who is it then? Who? Oh. Joshua Feuerstein. He's that guy that, he's that guy that... Oh. He's the guy that's just a guy. I mean, he used to be a television evangelist and a radio evangelist, but now he's just a guy with 467,000 followers on Facebook? Seriously? Good God. He might very well be just some guy, but he has enough followers on Twitter and Facebook to make a dent with his opinions and so-called facts. One thing that really irritates me is anybody who uses their willful ignorance to justify their faith as fact. So, let's go ahead and let's do this. You're Mr. Feuerstein? Let's get some facts straight.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey guys, Joshua Feuerstein here. You know, the other day I had an atheist tell me that I was an idiot, moronic, and stupid for believing in God, that he created this world, because it took way too much faith to believe in a process like that, while he believed in what he called the science of evolution.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The science of evolution.
Science?
The science of evolution.
Just, not a good start.
Dear Mr. Atheist, first of all, let me correct you.
This should be rich.
Evolution is not a science, never has, and never will be.
So I suppose all that hard work in the scientific community was a waste? I mean, it's not like they've done genetic studies or found human fossils or stone tools or figurines or feet print. Or do I need to really keep going?
Evolution is not a science, never has, and never will be. Why? Because it cannot fit within the parameters and parentheses of science for one simple reason. It was never observed. That's why it's not science. That's why it's called the theory of evolution.
For the love of... Scientific theory. This lovely little piece of misunderstanding has fueled creationist arguments for an unreasonably long time. The general use of the word theory is speculation or an unproven assumption. On the flip side, a scientific theory is an explanation of some aspect of the natural world that has been proven through scientific means, like observation and experimentation.
That's why it's called the theory of evolution. One man's theory.
What?
One man's theory.
Let me check my creationist translator. Apparently, one man means a whole community.
Now, let me show you how much faith it really takes to believe in evolution. You want me to believe that in some accidental cosmic bang, that out of that was created one cell, and from that one cell that all life springs, every plant, every animal, every single human being, and that somewhere along the way over years and years we mysteriously and magically all develop different wills, and we all develop different characteristics and traits, all because we willed it in our... I mean, you really think that everything came from one single cell?
Yeah.
How much faith does that take?
Less than believing that the cloud-dwelling invisible genie farted us into existence.
Now, I realize that you say that evolution's in science. And yet, if we go back to science, the one thing that science demands, if maybe you've heard of something called the law of thermodynamics, which means...
Whoa. Are you trying to disprove science with more science?
Now, I realize that you say that evolution's in science. And yet, if we go back to science, the one thing that science demands, if maybe you've heard of something called the law of thermodynamics, which means that chaos can never produce order.
Holy irony, Batman. You really are. As a creationist, if you're attempting to disprove a scientific theory, you probably shouldn't use more science to support your argument, especially if you don't understand what a scientific law is. That's just like smoking during a walk for cancer. It's just stupid.
Look at the world that we live in. The sun goes up, the moon comes out.
No, it doesn't.
We travel around the sun, we have years, we have days, we have seasons. The tide comes in and out. Everything works like a clock. It has order. And yet, you cannot argue that a world that has order came out of an accident because it defies the very logic and laws of science.
It most certainly does not. The second law of thermodynamics states that the entropy of any closed system will either remain the same or increase. But evolution isn't necessarily an increase in order or complexity. Also, taking into account that the sun heats the Earth's surface and sometimes meteors strike this little planet of ours, the Earth is generally accepted to be an open system. This alone negates your argument. Moving on.
You see, you think it takes a lot of faith for me to believe in a God that created this world, a God that created order, and yet, what if I were to tell you that somewhere in Oklahoma, a tornado rolls through a junkyard full of a bunch of old cars, and somewhere on the other side of that tornado, out of that junk pile, it magically produces a perfectly red, shiny, working Lamborghini.
You really haven't got any brains at all, have you, son?
I literally have no words, no jokes, just nothing.
You would tell me I was nuts. You would tell me that I had lost it. You would probably try to admit me into the psychiatric ward.
Yeah, I would.
Why? Because that is absolutely stupid.
Look at that. We agree on something.
I mean, how much faith would it really take to believe something as idiotic as that? And yet that's exactly what science believes.
Nope. Not even close.
Science believes that in this accident came this perfectly working Earth.
I'm sorry. The Earth is... what?
Perfectly working Earth.
Let me put that back into the translator. Oh. Perfect means abysmal mess. I get it.
Science believes that in this accident came this perfectly working Earth with human life and with people and animals and plants and seasons and days and hours and rotates. I mean, the atmosphere, everything in Earth was created perfectly. And I'm telling you, That could never happen through an accident. It had to be by intelligent design. So, dear Mr. Atheist, who really has to have a lot of faith today to believe in their theory?
Since there's literally no evidence supporting your theory, I'm gonna have to go ahead and just say you. Well, that was a wild ride from beginning to end. At least...
And one final thought.
Damn it!
Well, the word universe, you believe in a Big Bang, but when I look at the word universe, it means una, which is one or singular. That's Latin, universe. Verse means a spoken statement. So universe is one single spoken statement. I dare you to read Genesis 1. And in the beginning, God said, let there be. All God had to do was speak one single spoken statement and boom, the universe.
Wow. Incredible. That wasn't even remotely close to what that means.
If you believe in God, if you believe that all of this stuff is nonsense...
I believe that everything you just said is nonsense. Now, I can guess what the general creationist response is going to be to this video. You're just another atheist, calling him an idiot. That's where you're wrong. I'm not an atheist. Atheism is too black and white, not enough room for the gray. And I'm not that arrogant. I won't pretend to know for a fact that there is a God or isn't a God. I don't have all the information. Nobody does. I also don't think Joshua Feuerstein's an idiot. Okay, I do. But I'm not an atheist. Your intentional ignorance to support your argument is painful, to say the least. The teachings of Jesus Christ were about love, understanding, and forgiveness. It was never about you're right and I'm wrong. We've spent so much energy on these petty arguments pertaining to our beliefs. Why can't I believe what I believe and you believe what you believe? We've wasted so much time on promises of a heaven after our lives end. All of this could have been spent making our here and now a paradise for us to live in. The assumption most people get wrong about me is that I hate Christians. To be honest, with the constant misinterpretation of your own Bible and the hatred constantly spewed by the Christian community, I don't hate you, but I'm not sure I'd ever want to be associated with you. I guess the point I'm trying to make is be who you want to be. Love whoever you want to love. Believe whatever it is you want to believe. And most importantly, let people decide for themselves. I'm Jake. Have a good night.